Hello to everyone watching, it's me again, and today I'm coming at you with a spicy video. And I've realized that I haven't done a spicy video since I've started this downhill of a channel. So today I'm gonna share with you a list of books that I hated or didn't like. I don't mean to be rude. So before I start with this video, I have to tell you that everything I share in this video is my personal opinion. I don't mean to offend anyone. You're more than entitled to like whatever books you want to like, and I'm not here to judge that. I am just going to share my personal opinions and my personal reasons why I didn't like some certain books or series. Again, comment down below if you agree or disagree with me on some of these books, and maybe I can change my mind or reread some books, or you can reevaluate something. I mean, whatever, who knows? Just keep on watching, and without further ado, let's get into the book. Video. The first book that actually sparked this video, the first book that came to my mind, is a series that I recently finished, and this is the Matched trilogy by Ali Condi. And let me get started with this one. First of all, I get why people used to like it. It was written around that time where this whole dystopian era was flourishing with Hunger Games and Divergent and all that stuff, and it was really, that genre was really popular, and at the time it wasn't cliche, or I guess it wasn't, but right now this series is the definition of cliche, and I just couldn't deal with it. I mean, I bought it because it had been on my bucket list TBR for like ages, and I just found it for really cheap on Amazon. And I mean, the first book, I read it around this time last year, and it was quite enjoyable. I read it in a day, and it was really easy to read. It was like a very good introduction to what turned out to be the worst series I've ever read. I mean, okay, let me get the facts straight. I really liked how their society was built, how their world was built and ruled and maintained, and I really liked how that was portrayed. It was a really interesting concept, but it wasn't delivered very well. I couldn't connect with the characters, and especially with the second book, Crossed. I just felt like I wanted to pop my eyes out. I just couldn't get myself to read it because it was so boring. It was very repetitive. Things didn't really happen. The whole book was about people walking and trying to find each other, and I mean, the whole plot could fit in the very first 100 pages and it could be done. It didn't need to be a 400-page book. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It was just very, very, very boring and not interesting at all. And with the third book, I just had the same issue. I was only interested about one thing, and the rest was just blubber to me. I just couldn't deal. And I just couldn't connect with the story and the characters and their motives and why they did whatever it is that they did. And I was confused most of the time. So this trilogy was really not for me. If I had read it around the time it came out, I might have liked it. But I really didn't, and I'm really sad because I really wanted to add it in my list of like dystopians, but it just didn't happen for me. So the next book that I'm probably going to get some hate for not liking is Eleanor in Park by Rainbow Rowell. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a while. I know that most of you swear by that book and really love that, but I just really didn't. Turns out I might actually not be a huge fan of Rainbow Rowell at all, because people swear by Fangirl again, and I just couldn't really feel it. I mean, it was just okay for me, just not anything special. And again, with Eleanor in Park, I just bought that book because I was so hyped, and it was one of the first contemporaries I actually ever read, and it was so hyped, and I really, really, really wanted to like that book. and I just didn't. It just fell flat to me. I was expecting this huge, emotional, amazing roller coaster of a love story with two very weird people, and how like this whole thing is portrayed. It felt so interesting, and I just got nothing of it. But again, I might actually be wrong about that, and it's like the kind of book that I really want to reread and rethink about, and I might actually change my mind about that book, and I really want to change my mind about that book. So it is the book that I am willing to reread and maybe change my mind. But for the time being, I really couldn't feel that book. It wasn't for me. Next up, another contemporary that people adore and I just couldn't stand. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Okay, yeah, I mean, the issue with this is that I saw the movie before reading the book, and that kind of ruined things, because it has happened to me only twice, but if it happens, it can't be undone. And you know, I liked the movie more than I liked the book, and I'm gonna tell you why. With the movie, I really loved the cast, I really loved the way it was directed, and you know, it gave me that kind of feeling, like that kind of reevaluate life urge, and it left me with that feeling that I mean, I still think about it random times of the day, and even though I've watched the movie like dozens of times, I never get bored of it. It's like my go-to movie. I really, really, really adore it and think about it, and everything about the movie was really well done to me. So yeah, I just didn't get that with the book, and I think the issue is that the book was written in letters, so I think it just lost some of that feeling the movie gave me. And since I watched the movie first, I expected the book to give me that same feeling, but more. So when I got it, I bought the book and I read it, and it actually gave me less. I was so disappointed. So comparing to the movie, the book was just plain bad to me. It was flat, not bad. It was just flat. And comparing to the movie, I just didn't really like that book at all. But I think maybe it was my mistake for watching the movie first and setting the bar really, really high for the book not to exceed my expectations. But I think it was like, it would be an issue anyways, because if I read the book, it wouldn't seem that flat, but I guess it would still be flat, and then I would watch the movie and I'd be like, yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't know, I'm very defensive of the movie. I really, really love the movie, so it's like the exception to the rule that books are always better than the movie remakes. It was the exception to the rule, because I really, really loved that movie. I really, really didn't like the book. So yeah, my exception to the rule is this one. For the sake of consistency, I don't have that book right now because I have it in Greek. And for the sake of consistency, I'm gonna leave the English cover right here. So yeah, with Red Queen, let me tell you, I absolutely adored the first book. I read it when it came out. It came by surprise. It struck me, it killed me, it ruined me. I gave my heart to it. And I was so excited about the next book to come. And when the second book came out, it was just nothing. I don't know, I just didn't really like the second book at all. Like, the characters changed for no reason. The ending of that second book destroyed Mare's character to me completely. It just lost every meaning it had for me. Things changed for no reason. The plot wasn't anything interesting. There was only one thing that happened and actually mattered. And I was like so frustrated. And I only read the third book because I thought it was going to be the last book in the series, and I wanted to see where that would come to an end. And turns out it wasn't. And I realized that finishing the third book, when things started happening for no reason and it wasn't ending, and I was like, what is going on? And nothing of that really mattered to me. I just wanted it to end so bad because it had destroyed that perfect image I had for that first book, and the second and third book were total flops to me. I just didn't really like them at all. How many times have I said that phrase? Anyway, I want to hear people's opinions about that series, because to me it just got destroyed completely, and to me that I was kind of like the person who would run around and be like, yeah, read Red Queen because it's one of the best fantasy books you've ever read that. No, don't. I mean, I'm so frustrated at this series and at Victoria Aveyard for doing that. Yeah, I don't really think that I'm going to be reading the last book anytime soon. I'm going to be avoiding it like the plague. The only thing I like about this series anymore is Maven, who, again, whose character kind of went like this, and now it's taken the downhill again. I think this series just has lost its point completely. We're talking about Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. Again, this is a very controversial subject, because there are people who love the book and hate the movie, and people who love the movie and hate the book. And there are people who have issues with the book and not with the movie, and have issues with the movie and not the book, and some people that do both. So I'm kind of all of them, and I'm gonna tell you why. Again, with the movie, I felt things. I really felt things. I cried. I loved it. It just really gave me a very nice vibe, and I love the pictures. I love the cast. I thought Emilia Clarke as Lou was just spectacular and adorable, and it was a very great depiction of what I wanted to see from the book, like visually experience. But with the book, first of all, Jojo Moyes' writing style, I wasn't invested. I just didn't really like her writing style. But I also had some issues with that particular book. First of all, I couldn't connect with the characters portrayed in here at all. Whereas in the cast and the movie, there were real humans, real actual living beings, and it was easier for me to kind of connect to them. It was really predictable. From the moment I knew what this book is about, I knew what was going to happen in the end, and that just really killed the hype for me, because everything was like a train of circumstances that could only lead to one end, and where's the thrill in that? And I know it's a romance story where there shouldn't be a thrill, but it wasn't even cute. I mean, I had real issues with that book. And my biggest issue is that Will, after getting disabled, has kind of like lost all meaning of life and will to live. And this book is supposed to be about Lou trying to teach him how to live. But the message that book left me with, like the impression it left me with, is that people with disabilities can't live life. And I mean, I think this isn't what the book was supposed to be about, but I think it evolved around Will's way of thinking way more than it did around Lou trying to help him, if you get what I mean. I just felt like this element was more prominent, like the element that of pessimism, and I just really don't think that this is the kind of a message a book should give. And I just really felt that. I might be wrong, it's just a personal thing, I just really felt that way, and that's why I didn't like that book. Whereas in the movie, at least you can see what's going on, and I did connect with the characters, so I didn't really feel that last thing so much, even though same things happened. I just connected to the movie a lot more. But still, I mean, it was the same thing. I just had real issues with the book more than I did with the movie. So yeah, I really didn't like that book, and I wish I could. Next up, we've got one of the worst books I've ever read, and I'm saying that with all of my heart. If there is one book I really hate, this is it. And we're talking about Panic by Lauren Oliver. It was a time around when movie Nerve came out, when this book rose up to the surface of the book world for some reason. I kept seeing it everywhere, from Pinterest to Twitter to Instagram, everywhere, because it seemingly was similar to the movie Nerve. And when I read about it, you know, I was so influenced about the movie that I wanted a book with a reckless game in it. And I was like, oh, that should be interesting. And like, even in like the description here, it says, what do you fear the most? And I mean, I was like, this is gonna be interesting. And we're talking about teenagers on a small town playing a really reckless and dangerous game, and I was like, yes, give me more. But that book gave me nothing. I mean, nothing. Again, I couldn't connect with the characters. Their motives and what they did was all so flat and meaningless. And I was just like, where is the action in this? Like, the real thing that you're supposed to feel something for. And it was just a huge pile of nothing. And I'm so frustrated because I really wanted to like that book. I just signed up for a very thrilling experience of a book, and I just got a huge pile of nothing. And at the end of the book, I just wanted it to... I just wanted to be done with that book so much that I didn't even care about what was happening. And it's not memorable at all. I just don't remember what happened in like half of the book. And I'm so sad to announce that. But this is one of the books that I'm never gonna touch in my life again, because I don't want to get through this again. Even though, I mean, I want to see why people like it. I don't know how much is rated on Goodreads and stuff, but I really didn't like that. I don't know. So yeah, if you've read it, please leave a comment down below and tell me your opinion about it, because it just really didn't... I really disliked it. So, the next book or series that I didn't like, and the one that I was really contemplating whether I should put into the video, because I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow morning with no friends about what I'm going to say, is the Mortal Instruments series. I mean, before you come at me with your fiery sticks and knives to kill me, I want to say that from the beginning, me and that series, and like especially from the beginning, we just didn't click. It was not my kind of thing. So I don't think the series has an issue. It's just that me and the Mortal Instruments don't really click. So yeah, this series was just not my cup of tea. And it's normal, I guess. I mean, we can't like every book around. So yeah, I'm actually going to justify that. First of all, I started reading the first book when I was in middle school, and I don't know, I just finished it and I was like, yeah, okay, I mean, yeah, I wasn't settled. I didn't really feel like I wanted to keep reading it. And when I found out that there was a 6-book series based on that first book, I was like, following that first book, I was like, yeah, okay, I mean, okay, no for me. And then a year later, a person came, that we talked about books a lot, a person came to me and said, you know, I'm gonna give you the second book to read, and I was like, nope, no thanks, no thanks. I just avoided it so much. And I totally forgot about the series for another good year or so. And then high school came and I met this new group of friends, and they were really invested to that series and really obsessed, and it was around the time that the TV show came out, and I was like, yeah, okay, I mean, you know, I'm just gonna give it a second chance. And I reread the first, no, I didn't reread the first book, I just read the second. I just started it where I'd left it. And honestly, I did fangirl for a while, but it was a very short-lived hype for me, because I soon got so fed up. I really got fed up, and I think that this is my main issue with that series. Like, it was overhyped to my head, and it didn't live up to my expectations, and I just got so fed up that I couldn't care about it anymore. I couldn't read about all that stuff anymore, because it was all too much, and I just felt like I had to read something else. So yeah, I do recognize that Cassandra Clare has a really good writing style and amazing world building and character building skills. I mean, I admire her for that. It's just not my thing, and I couldn't relate to it. And I mean, it's normal, we can't like everything. So yeah, I did really enjoy the Infernal Devices though. I mean, I loved the Infernal Devices, and I just couldn't really bother with the Mortal Instruments. You know, it's my relationship with that series is very complicated. Did you hear that? This is what I have to get through every day. So that's it for this video. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree with me. Anyway, leave your opinions down below, but please don't be rude. Maybe next video is going, or can, or will be a discussion about problematic books. Would you be interested in seeing that? Please like that video so that I know that you want to see the next one. So that's it, and I'm gonna see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.